we want a country where everybody will have equal opportunity at the center. So if I want to be president of Nigeria today and I'm competent, you are saying that because my zone already presented a useless person, I will not be able to have an opportunity until the other zone provides their own useless person to waste my time. And before you know it, the country is gone. So it's senseless for anybody to come on TV or come openly to tell you that, oh, we only want to spend 4 years in power because we already have a covenant with the political devils not to spend more than 4 years because they need to present another bad person. It shows to you that they were never interested, and that's the highest level of desperation, by the way, to say that, oh, you know, I just want a quick opportunity to do what I can do, and I'll move and shift away. What if the people say to you, in 4 years, we want more? Or because you had an unwritten agreement, an unspoken covenant with somebody or some people who are not known to law, who are not known to Nigerian people, you are going to leave. It shows that you are not serious in the first place. But it's a trick. You know, anybody who believes that a Nigerian politician will spend 4 years in power and leave after 4 years, yes, I have a breed to sell to you.
So again, Sowore attacks Peter Obi, but on this time, he attacks Peter Obi's one-time presidency proposal, saying that anyone that makes a proposition like that is plain and outrightly very, very desperate. And the question for every one of us is this: is Sowore right to attack Peter Obi's one-time presidency proposal, or is he just jealous? Most Nigerians always say Joe Sowore is jealous because he doesn't get the spotlight that he believes that he should be getting, because he thinks that Peter Obi is part of the political system and elite who contributed to the ruining of Nigeria, and all he's doing is plain and old plain packaging, you know. But Sowore says anybody who believes a Nigerian politician will spend 4 years and leave is joking. Should we use the same brush of our corrupt politicians to paint Peter Obi? I mean, by no means he's not a saint in the political sense of it, really. But does he fall within the category of these corrupt politicians, as is been envisaged to see to be a more of a reformist and a transparent leader? What do you really think about that? Because he also said that we want a country where we all have equal opportunity at the center. But I would say everywhere in Nigeria, we want equal opportunity. We should have equal chance at being a Nigerian, being the president or governor or senator or whatnot in any part of Nigeria, in any position which we aspire to, as long as we're qualified to be in that position. So the question now I want to ask you is this: over a long time period, do you think that this one-time presidency fixes Nigeria? Because it has all its shortcomings. And I will explain that to you as well. You know, but instead of a one-time president, why don't we let the system work? Because it is the failure of the system and the corruption within the system that has caused us to get to this point. If we let the system work, where election work and it's based on ideas and policies, and who can communicate that ideas and carry along the people, who's transparent and clean enough, would we be talking about a one-time presidency, or would we be talking about zoning the presidency around the country? After all, we have more than 300 tribes and ethnicity in Nigeria. So by the time we zone it around the next 300 years, the next time another person guesses it's going to be 360 years later or more, or multiply that by 4. Do you understand? So if the president has the right, the desire to serve 2 times and the people will re-elect that president, why don't we let the system work? Wouldn't that be better than a rotational one-time presidency, be it 4 years or be it 6 years? So, because if you have reforms, you have the strengthening of the democracy system we have, and it is transparent, it is accountable, and we can see all the performance metrics that we can use to gauge the system. Wouldn't that work well? But on the flip side, when you take a one-time presidency, would that not also increase corruption? Imagine Peter Obi comes and does it, and he did it very well, but the next person that comes in becomes more corrupt because he only has 6 years or 4 years to steal as much. Wouldn't that even make the system fail? Would that also not increase this conversation about rotation and ethnic expectation? Would that not worsen the system? And obviously, remember, one person goes, the next person comes in, it creates a power vacuum, and obviously puts instability in the system, political actor starts the scheme around for another 4 years or another 6 years, wouldn't this one-time president, make this thing become even worse? And obviously, you can see the political bargaining that is going on and manipulations here. Who wins what votes here, for him to get this power so that he can skim it back to the next person. This is exactly what Tinubu did all along when he was waiting for his turn. That's why he said, "This is my turn," because he schemed for. If one time it was Atiku didn't win, and then Buhari, before he now became his turn, according to Buhari and Tinubu. Wouldn't that obviously also weaken the continuity policy of Nigeria, where you have a president that's performed to be able to carry on and finish his performances? Now, because there will be no political re-election anyway, what about the accountability thing there? And obviously, the most importantly, this person only has a short time to deliver. So if we have the system work the way the system is meant to work, wouldn't that work out well for all of us? Wouldn't that work out well for the country, such that we can move the country forward? If somebody works well, the person gets re-elected. If it doesn't work well, the person gets removed. Isn't that what Traore is talking about? Or do you still think that Traore is attacking Peter Obi because he believes that, you know, uh, uh, um, Peter Obi is still in the spotlight? Which brings me to the next thing. Because when you look at what Traore proposes and the way he attacks Peter Obi, oftentimes people say that the reason why Traore does that is because he sees Peter Obi as part of the system, not somebody who's more or less revolutionary. You know, and Traore constantly attacks Peter Obi because of political relevance and ideological purity, in the sense that he says, "Look at my ideology. Look at Peter Obi's ideology. It's the same as these guys who are criminals in the system. So you should choose me against choosing Peter Obi." And obviously, something that is a lot of people have pointed out as well, if I can remember, that is saying Peter Traore wants the audience that Peter Obi has, and is frustrated that Peter Obi keeps getting the same audience and even more, and he's not getting that audience. You know, so which leads to him constantly attacking Peter Obi, so that Nigerians keep talking about him and see that he's different to Peter Obi, and Nigerians can galvanize and gravitate towards him. So the question now is this again: is Traore right to attack that one-time presidency proposal? Is it right to paint Peter Obi with the same brush? It's painting the likes of Atiku, Bola Tinubu, Buhari, those people who are and Amechi, those people who have been the part of this corruption and this that's caused this decay in our system. Is it right? Or do you think he's not? You think he's just being sure, just making this case out of nothing because he wants to attack Peter Obi? He sees Peter Obi as a cheap shot. Now, bear in mind, he didn't call Peter Obi's name, but obviously, because Peter Obi said that statement, that has caused a lot of spiral around the society and around the politics in Nigeria, and everyone is coming from. Remember, Ruben Apati said something similar. So the question is, are we going to be moving to a place of capacity, character, and truth, transparency, as against one-term presidency? Which one do you think would work? Put your comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also recommend the channel to others. But remember, if the system works the way it should work, if INEC works the way INEC should work, if our electioneering system is right the way it should work, would we be talking about rotational presidency? Would we be talking about zoning? Would we be talking about this north-south dichotomy? After all, if you look at the United Kingdom, there's England, there's Wales, there's Scotland, there's Northern Ireland. But all through, England has always produced all the prime minister, and nobody has died. England has always produced the prime minister. Obviously, you can argue about the Gordon Brown Scotland scenario at that particular point in time, but England has always produced the prime minister. And because the system is allowed to work the way the system is working, the people in Northern Ireland, the people in Scotland, the people in Wales never for once come to complain that only England produces the prime minister. So if the system should work, would we have to worry about who's coming from the north or the south or the east or the west? Because after all, it's not even benefited us anyway since the zoning started, which is something that the constitution does not recognize. Politicians made that in their political manifesto and their constitution, and Nigeria has been running based on the political party's constitution, not our own constitution. What do you think? Put your thoughts or comment in the comment section again. Please subscribe because we need to increase the number of subscription on our channel, and we need to grow this channel. We need to get to a lot of more people around the world and to bring political awareness so that we can get rid of our corrupt politicians. And don't forget to recommend this channel to others. Bye bye for now. God bless you.